Hello my friends, and welcome back to Brotato Danger 5 with the new 1.1 beta update, where they've added another cool thing that we can do, which is to play a more elemental damage-focused hunter using the Icicle weapon, which was just moved to level 1, so we can start with it right away. The Icicle's a really cool weapon. It scales incredibly well with levels, and it has inherent piercing, good range, but relatively low base damage. We gain increased critical chance and damage as we level up with it, so we need to buy a lot of attack speed and crit chance to maximize that effect. Hunter, of course, scales those things naturally, so this is going to be a fun way to play one of the more difficult classes in the game. Well, let's give it a go. When you're playing Hunter, the real challenge is that you are pretty far behind economically speaking, because you have to buy health at a lower rate of return than other classes. Notice that I'm trying to line up my shots so they hit multiple enemies as well. You have to buy health at a lower rate of return than other classes, and you can't use harvesting, which is the normal way that you maintain your economy in this game. So Hunter is always playing at a deficit when it comes to economy, and has to use its inherent scaling with range and its inherent scaling with critical damage in order to make up for that. We could take elemental damage here. I could also roll for luck or something like that. Normally you might roll for harvesting wave 1, but of course the hunter can't use it, so we're just going to take the elemental damage, and we are going to lock this tree, buy another icicle, and roll. Look for more icicles here. Got another one, and roll again, and we can lock another icicle. Tree is an excellent economy item to lock early, and icicles also, because they are both precise and elemental weapons, and those are two really good weapon tags, will give us some base damage from the elemental tag and some crit chance, which then gets multiplied, because we're the hunter, from the precise weapon tag. So overall, this will scale our damage a lot just by buying these. But what we aren't getting is any defenses out of this, and with our low attack speed, we have to be very careful, because our HP is going to be quite low. And with low attack speed on a weapon like this, it can be really hard for it to help defend you. So we're going to have to roll for max HP, for attack speed, and other stats that let us defend ourselves more easily. Gummy Berserker, I'm going to take this. Losing an armor is definitely painful, but this is attack speed, which we want, and 2.5% damage because of the hunter's bonuses. Not a ton of damage, but every little bit helps. And of course the range actually isn't terrible for us either. Either move speed or percent damage would be good here. The hunter, of course, can get some percent damage from buying range, but you still want to buy percent damage, because the amount that you actually get from buying range is very low. As you saw, we got 25 range and got 2% damage there, so it's not like you're getting tons of percent damage from the hunter's upgrade. In fact, overall, the hunter's bonus from gaining damage from range, I think, is more of a penalty than it is a bonus, because it makes purchasing otherwise efficient items like Cyclops Worm and stuff less valuable, because it gives you a penalty to those items when you buy them. I'm going to, I think, just go with the damage here. Move speed would be really good, but I really want to maximize my damage early. You know, roll here. We can't use harvesting, so we're not going to buy dodge here, or not going to buy peaceful bee here. We will roll. We won't be able to afford another icicle, though I'm still hoping to lock one, but we will be able to buy the tree. So I have a choice that I can make here. I can either buy the tree now, or roll, and then if I miss on an icicle, have enough money to roll again to try to lock another weapon. I think buying the tree now is good enough to be able to buy that right away, though you could definitely make the other choice. As it happens, we missed on an icicle, so we weren't able to lock a weapon that we wanted. That means that we're going to be a little slower to find our weapons, but hopefully the extra trees and just the more efficient use of our money early can help make up for that. Really looking for attack speed is the main stat that we want right now, and of course maximum HP. The inherent pierce on the icicle is pretty nice for the hunter, because the hunter really needs to not let enemies get close to them. Also, because of our very long range, we're leaving a lot of money on the ground. Just going to take HP. You need to buy HP very aggressively when you're playing the hunter, because it's very hard to get any, and you want to not get one shot. And I won't buy dodge there. Dodge is a multiplier to your HP, so I think typically on the hunter you'd actually want to avoid it. But I will take the 3 armor just because it's a level 3, and we had negative armor. As it happened, we weren't punished because we were still able to find another Icicle, so I'll buy that and take the Gentle Alien, and then go to the next wave. Running a little bit low in terms of economy at this point because the hunter can't use harvesting, so we're behind compared to a lot of other characters. Economically speaking, other characters would at this point have 15, 20 harvesting and be making quite a lot more money every wave than we are. With 13 HP and 2 armor, I can take probably 1 hit, but I really need to be careful not to take multiple hits, break that tree, and try to pick up as many of these materials before the end of the wave as possible. Sharp Bullet does give us additional piercing. I don't believe Icicle scales more piercing. So I think when we level the Icicle, we don't pierce additional times. It still stays at 1. So a second pierce would be nice, but the penalties on the Sharp Bullet are pretty severe. The 3rd enemy we hit with a weapon will only take 10% damage, so we'll need to buy pumpkins in order to make up the piercing percent damage loss if we buy Sharp Bullet. I think on balance it's still worth it, but it's possible that it's actually not because we already have piercing on this weapon. I'm going to take damage here. We were falling a little bit low in terms of damage, so I definitely want to make sure we have more of that, and we'll buy the mutation as well. Rolling, I'm really looking for more Icicles. Definitely taking a Cyclops Worm, and I'll roll again, buy an Icicle here, and a Weird Ghost. We're already at the point where we die in 2 hits, so might as well make it 1 hit. And on wave 5, I typically feel like I can guarantee not taking a hit. We'll see if I'm able to back that up in practice, though. The Spicy Sauce is worth 2 HP for 60, which obviously is a terrible ratio, but you do kind of have to just accept that you're spending ridiculous amounts of money trying to fix the hunter's HP problem, so I tend to just buy any HP that we find, even though it's an awful ratio in terms of how much we actually get out of it for the cash. With Icicle, we do have pretty good wave inherent damage and wave clear, I think, so we can afford to spend a little bit on defensive stats to make sure we don't just get popped by an elite. The Horde wave is going to be a challenge for us unless we get a pumpkin, though, because the piercing damage of these weapons is low, since I bought the Sharp Bullet. So it will make killing multiple enemies in the Horde wave more difficult. I will take Scared Sausage here. We probably won't end up having this go off that often. We are building a lot of elemental damage, though, so the Scared Sausage can be a little bit of extra DPS on a high health enemy. I do want some form of healing. I don't know if I want Lifesteal or Regeneration at this point. I think I'm going to roll past the 3 Regeneration and just try to buy more offensive stats. Attack Speed. Here, I think I will just take the Regeneration. That way we can heal up a little bit. Buy these 2 and roll. We get an Icicle and a coupon as well. We don't really want the Gambling Token, I think, overall. Even though Gambling Token was newly buffed. Hunter's very much a glass cannon character, so you really just want to build enough HP and regeneration that you don't die instantly. But other than that, you aren't building a lot of defensive stats. Killing that tree, collecting some materials here. Trying to pop the ranged enemies. Ideally, we get criticals against them and break the floaters before they actually spawn a ton of projectiles, since, of course, every time you hit one of those floaters, it spawns a projectile, which then we have to dodge. And projectiles are harder to dodge than enemies, because you can't kill them. Do I want percent damage? I think we can do better than this. I'm going to roll here, and I guess I'll take 4 regeneration. Now we actually have a decent amount of healing. Take the coupon and level our Icicle, so Icicles... they don't gain additional piercing, but they do gain additional critical hit chance and crit for 2x damage still. But they also attack faster as we level them up, which is very important for this character. Thunder Sword would be really good, but I really want to test out the Icicles on this character, so we would take the Thunder Sword, but this is going to be an Icicle build. So I will take the Insanity here, and Weird Food. I think we do want that. Roll again. I will actually take the Pocket Factory because we have the Scared Sausage. The turrets themselves won't be really valuable, but the Pocket Factory turrets can set enemies on fire with our Scared Sausage and our decent elemental damage to add to our wave clear. It's a bit of a luxury item, but I feel like we're in decent shape right now, so we can afford to buy stuff like that that helps accelerate our income over the coming waves without being at too much risk. Definitely need to increase my damage. That big slasher took a long time to kill, much longer than I would like. We also haven't found a single baby gecko, which is one of the top tier items for this build, because it increases our range, which, since we're the hunter, also boosts our damage, and prevents us from leaving so much money on the ground as we're doing right now. Might have to do some dodging. Can we kill this loot alien before the end of the wave? We sure can. Making sure to try to clear everything. Again, left a lot of money on the ground, but I think that's okay. Losing luck here for XP gain, I think, is worth it, because we're about to go into Wave 9, so the 25% XP gain will be some extra levels, and I will take the Terrified Onion. I think we're just not buying luck on this character, and we're just going to buy the move speed there to make that more useful. I could take 30 range on these eyes, but that is only 3% damage, so I'd rather roll here, I think, or maybe just take the regeneration. I think I'm going to roll. Maybe I just need attack speed badly enough I take 5% attack speed. With negative luck, we're not that likely to find higher level ups, so I think I'm just going to take the attack speed here. Buy these two items. We'll pass on the helmet. Our HP isn't high enough to make that appealing. We will definitely take Scared Sausage and the Broken Mouth. Duct Tape would cost me some health. Does boost the Pocket Factory with the engineering, but reduces our effective HP, because the 1 armor doesn't make up for losing 1.66 health. The health loss is reduced by the hunter's health penalty. I guess 1.33 health. But basically, we just want to get to like 40 HP so that we don't die in one shot to the bosses, and that's the only thing we care about. Other than that, we're just going to build damage. I like these trees that are spawning at the extreme edges of the arena, so the turrets are never going to light things on fire. Yeah, definitely feeling like even the 5% attack speed was a really good purchase, because attack speed is currently our main challenge. Definitely want to pick up these materials, and can we kill this tree? Manually targeting down the tree before the end of the wave to see if we could get a box out of it. Gentle Alien is great here. Lifesteal or Regeneration, I think we can do better. We're guaranteed a level 3 upgrade here, so we're going to roll for HP or attack speed or elemental damage. And I think I actually want the attack speed over the HP. Ooh, 12% dodge. This is a level 4 upgrade. Maybe we could get our dodge to a reasonable level if I find like one more high-level dodge upgrade. I could also just take crit chance for more damage output. Let's take it. If I end up not using it, then it's not the end of the world to have given up on like 5% attack speed or whatever else I passed on for that. And if I do end up building dodge, it'll be very powerful for us. Take the Scared Sausage, Broken Mouth, and Blindfold. Unfortunately, the Fertilizer we can't use, so we're just going to roll past it. And then another Gentle Alien here. Finn, I definitely want. Both the Lifesteal and the Speed are very good, and we'll take the Insanity as well. I'm a little worried about this wave because we just don't have the attack speed to clear these enemies that quickly. Attack speed is what really matters on Wave 9, especially with a ranged build. So it's possible that we could get overwhelmed by just the sheer number of things on the field. As you can see, we're starting to fall behind on clearing them. We didn't find a pumpkin or anything like that, so our piercing damage, while present, is not very high at the moment. The fact that we have the sharp bullet, though, does help out with our turrets, because they don't need to do a ton of damage in order to light things on fire with the scared sausage. They just need to hit things, so any piercing is really good for the Pocket Factory turrets. Definitely want to make my way through the middle of the arena here so we don't leave infinite money on the ground. 70 on the ground, not great, but not horrible. Take the elemental damage, and then honestly, I think just taking the attack speed here, I could roll, but with negative 13 luck, we're not particularly likely to get really high level upgrades, and it's very important that we spend our money on things that actually help us. Definitely leveling the icicles. I wish we'd found more high level icicles as well. Rolling again. Improved tools, I will take. This is quite good for us just because, I mean, it helps with the Pocket Factory, but also any attack speed is so important for this build. Lemonade and Book, I will probably take both of as well. Although, I did the math wrong there. For some reason, I thought we could buy both. But I think when we would have to lock the book and give up a look at a shop slot, I'm not going to lock it. I will lock the mutation, though, because elemental damage is really important. Up to 32 max HP, which is enough to survive one hit from an elite, but not two, usually. So, I would like to get to 40, but if we don't, then we'll just have to accept that. More important that we get enough damage that we can kill the elite quickly, which right now we are a little bit behind on. Hunter's just a very difficult character. So you're always playing catch-up a little bit when you're playing this character. So the Icicle build feels pretty good so far on the Hunter. And I will say also that if we had managed to level up our Icicles a little better, like if we'd found more of those in the shop, I think we got pretty unlucky to have seen none of those, or so few of those up until this point, then we'd have been able to, we would be killing things much quicker. Do I lose 2/3 of an HP for 4 crit chance, or not quite 4 crit chance? I think I do. Critical hit is going to be really important. Of course, a hunting trophy would also go a really long way for this character. Let's roll here. There's nothing here we really want, and I'll just take the percent damage, I think, or the base damage. We'll take the base damage, and then here, probably just the 9 HP. This is one of the best ways to get HP, so we're going to pick that up here. It ends up only being 7 and a bit, or not quite 7, 6 and a bit, with the, oh no, minus 33% penalty. Yeah, so it ends up only being 6. We do get a pumpkin here, so that's great. In fact, a lot of things that increase our damage output, which is awesome when we're going into a fight with an elite. Leather vest costs me 2 HP, gives me 2 armor and 6 dodge. I think that does make us a little tankier. The lower your HP, the worse armor and dodge are, and obviously our HP is very low. But we only lose 2, and it gets our dodge up to 21, which isn't horrible. Our armor's pretty low, so I'll pick that up. I think I will buy the defective steroids as well. Drinking some water. Excuse me. Do I buy the defective steroids? I think I will not lock the defective steroids, just because it would cost me a look at another potentially better item. Let's see if we can kill the elite. We're gonna run down here and try to burst down the elite. Oh, of course I did forget it was an elite wave when I picked up that bait. So that definitely was a huge error. It cost me a lot of time attacking the elite. Really, really bad mistake there, actually. That made this wave much, much harder than it needed to be. So definitely getting absolutely baited by the bait. Trying to maintain my health here. That will probably cost me the kill on the elite, because it meant I had to kill those lampreys instead of focusing on the boss here. And that gave the boss, which ended up being a summoner, time to summon a lot of units and make my... reduce my DPS on it by putting a lot of other stuff in the way. So, huge mistake. Definitely not good play there. But at least we survived. We'll take the attack speed here and finally get to upgrade the Icicle. An incendiary turret... Okay, so this is interesting. I could buy 8 elemental damage and cap my HP at 36. On the Hunter, I actually don't hate that. I think I will do that, and I am going to pick up the incendiary turret as well. No, I think it's a little too late for the incendiary turret. We'll just roll past it. I will not take the defective steroids, because that we capped our health. Rolling one more time here. Energy Bracelet, definitely perfect for this build, and the Ugly Tooth will help out as well against the elites next time. If we'd had that in the last wave, even though I bought the bait, like a complete dummy, then we would have been able to kill the elite just by slowing it down and focusing it. We also did get unlucky on which elite it was. If it hadn't been a summoner, then it wouldn't have been such a problem to have picked up the bait. But definitely sloppy play there. Obviously, you want to avoid buying bait on elite waves, usually. In this case, just because, especially because we were using a ranged weapon, so you can only damage one thing at a time, typically. And it just meant that I lost the very important first 5 seconds of the wave or so to shooting the lampreys instead of shooting the elite. And since it was a summoner, then it filled up the arena with all kinds of crap, which then was absorbing shots, tanking damage for the summoner, and also making it harder for me to move around and focus damage on it. So, exactly how you don't want to approach elite fights. You want to burst them down quickly, and buying stuff that makes that harder is obviously not a good plan. Taking the percent damage here, and then awesome, level 3 Icicle. So the level 3 Icicle goes up to 2.5%, 2.5x critical damage, which is kind of cool. You get increased damage as you level it up. Increased crit damage as you level it up, so the crit chance we're buying is even better. Energy Bracelet, perfect for this build, obviously. Jelly, not worth buying because we are capped at 36 health. Definitely taking the Insanity, and then we will roll here. Again, another leveled up Icicle and a Mutation. And then we're going to go to Wave 13. Now our damage is great. We finally found some leveled up weapons and a few more damage items. So, for the next elite, we won't have that problem, hopefully. Although, because I bought the shackles for plus 8 elemental damage, for one thing. But, of course, because I bought those, our health is quite low, so we need this high damage in order to defeat the enemies quickly before they can become a threat to us. Still kind of kicking myself over that very amateur error there, but, you know, these things happen. When you play thousands of games of anything, you're going to make some silly mistakes. Boxing Glove, we already have quite negative knockback, so we are just going to recycle that. Definitely just taking 3 elemental damage. Okay, well, we got a Particle Accelerator. This is the unique item from the Technomage and scales off of Elemental and Engineering. Obviously, we're going to try out the new awesome weapon. So, although the Icicle, we did intend to be mostly Icicle, it's Particle Accelerator time for sure. So the Particle Accelerator, I have never yet bought this item, so I'm very excited to give it a try. How does it work? 140 damage, very slow attack speed, very long range, 100 piercing, so it's very similar to an Obliterator, but it lights everything on fire and it slows enemies based on your engineering, which we don't have much of, but still very cool. It might actually end up being less damage than the icicles, but I really want to try it out. Take the toxic sludge here and lock these two. The Tyler's very good as well, because it scales off our elemental damage. Now? Oh, it's a laser beam. Okay, okay. Love that. Never mind, it's definitely not lower damage than the icicles, because it's shooting things just across the map. I thought this was a legendary weapon, but I guess either it was rebalanced in the patch, or I was just misremembering, and it can now show up at level 3. So now I am slightly regretting not buying the book. And the other engineering items that we've been offered. But we can pick some up as we go. Relatively low income at this point, and that's what happens. That's one of the challenges for the hunter, is you can't have harvesting. Usually you rely on harvesting for income at this point. Now, the hunter, if you roll into hunting trophy, can use that for your economy, but if you don't roll into hunting trophy, and we've been unlucky, and also have bought negative luck, which makes it less likely for us to find hunting trophy, it means that our economy is going to really suffer going into like wave 14 and later. Here, I think I still just want attack speed over crit chance or engineering. I'm going to take the Tyler and the missile, and I think I will take the gambling token. Our dodge is at 19%, so we can actually build a decent amount of dodge pretty quickly. Beanie we definitely want, even though we lose 0.6% damage by buying it. And this is one of the things where, like, the hunter's, what looks like a bonus sort of becomes a penalty, because it makes Beanie a little bit worse, but you still just have to buy the Beanie. Now, of course, Hunter offsets that by starting with plus 100 range, so it's hard to reach the point where you're actually losing damage from the Hunter's passive. But it makes otherwise very efficient items less efficient, so it decreases the value of your money overall, which is something that Hunter already struggles with. So the particle accelerator should be setting things on fire, but I think it's just killing them, so that just doesn't happen. The horde wave is really tough here, so I'm playing behind my Tyler, because the Tyler has piercing shots as well. And so it can help us clear these enemies. We're going to leave a lot of money on the ground. Really could use Sif's Relic or something like that. And we've got a decent collection of consumables, so even if I take some hit, then the consumables will heal us up instantly. Bag, another way that we could have fixed our economy, but we didn't find one. But I will take 9% dodge here, I think, as well. I'm going to boost my move speed. And then I will buy the snail, just making it a little easier for us to dodge these enemies, I think is very important. I'll take a gambling token as well. It's possible I want small magazine. 156 for 10% attack speed, definitely painful, but these are weapons that just scale almost purely off attack speed. So small magazine, not as bad as it looks, despite us not using the ranged damage at all. I think I won't lock it, but it's definitely worth considering. Obviously, we didn't end up with much money that wave because we had to hide in the corner the whole time, but again, we survived, so we can collect the money this wave. This is a funny hunter build, because normally I heavily prioritize boosting my HP, which we have capped. I heavily prioritize getting early luck, because it's the only economy stat you can get, but instead we're playing with negative luck. And usually you use that early luck to roll for hunting trophy to try to make money, but since we haven't done that, we are playing behind economically. On the other hand, this particle accelerator is just like hard carrying us, I think. Oh, I should have checked its damage after the horde wave, because I bet the damage on the particle accelerator was ridiculous after the horde wave. We'll check it this wave. Yeah, we'll take the lemonade. Coffee, excellent. The 9 HP excited me for a second, but of course we can't use it because our HP's capped. I think I will take 4 regeneration just to make sure that we are healing at least some. Check the damage, 9,500 on that. So yeah, it's outperforming the icicles, but not wildly outperforming the icicles because we don't have a ton of engineering damage, and our actual attack damage with it is high enough that the burning is never happening. Ice Cube is a pretty good item for this build because it's just going to help us burst down the elite faster. It's basically 10% extra damage for 3 seconds against the elite, which is great. And then we will upgrade to a level 4 Icicle. The level 4 Icicle gets ×3 crit damage and even more chance of critically hitting, as well as attacking a full 1/10 of a second faster. So level 4 Icicle, really good upgrade. It's possible, I haven't experimented enough with this weapon to know, but it is possible that you want, when playing an Icicle build, to rush for level 4 Icicle, because it's a really good upgrade. Definitely taking the blindfold here, and we'll take the claw tree as well, because I want to hit 100% crit chance as soon as I can. Alien Tongue, I don't value heavily on this build. Although we're leaving materials on the ground, I'd rather use geckos than Alien Tongue. We will take the blindfold again, and I'll take head injury. Again, this is another item that loses some value because of the hunter's passive, but you still have to buy it because percent damage is so important. And we actually have 4 consumable heal. I think I do want to go up to 5, so that'll be 8 per consumable dropped, because that means we can heal up to our full health very, very quickly with any consumables that drop. Yeah, so now my icicles are going to be out, at least the level 4 icicles, going to be out damaging the particle accelerator, because ×3 crit damage is so ridiculous. Particle Accelerator, awesome weapon, by the way. This feels so good to use. If only we had one more legendary item from having killed the elite earlier. Sadly, I'm a bonehead. Strange Book, well, that's amazing. We don't care about losing melee and range damage, and the engineering scales all the scales our particle accelerator, scales our pocket factory, scales our Tyler, and we get a ton of it, so Strange Book is awesome here. Actually, a great find. Bonus range, this is only 3% damage, so I could also just take 5% damage. I think spending 2% damage for 30 range is fine, so I will take that. I'll take the Gummy Berserker, Lemonade, and Head Injury. Baby Elephant with -21 luck, not so much. Vigilante Ring is too late. I am going to not take the bait this time, although, actually, now we have enough damage that I feel like we can just take the bait and clear the lampreys really quickly before we kill the elite. If I end up not killing the elite, then we're gonna have gotten baited in the really truest sense of the word, but I actually think that we will be fine to pick it up this time. Fairy will help with our regeneration, of course, and we'll take the pencil as well, because engineering will scale our particle accelerator. So we're going to clear the lampreys. I'm just kind of backing off from the elite to clear the lampreys, and then we can focus the elite down. And as you can see, my damage is high enough now that we're in okay shape to have bought that. Whoops, I did stand right in the charge there. Very bad play, but luckily we were rescued by a dodge chance. So, those of you who were in the midst of typing angry comments about how I never learned my lesson, I just got baited, and then I bought it again. Is what I say to you. The mistake that I made previously I think it's important to note, isn't specifically buying bait on an elite wave. It's not remembering that it was an elite wave and making the intentional decision to do that after having calculated whether I had enough damage. So this time, I made the decision with my eyes open and was able to make the right decision, whereas the previous time I just didn't pay attention and made a bad decision as a result. We don't have any explosions, so I'm going to recycle the explosive shells, and then engineering. I don't really need to buy more engineering. I'm going to take 2 armor here just to give myself a little bit more safety, especially because I'm about to buy a bunch of regeneration. I feel like one way we lose this run is if I just take 2 big hits in a row from the bosses and die immediately. I will say my decision to buy the 12 dodge and pick up a bunch of dodge has worked out very well. Because we ended up finding dodge, so that worked pretty nicely. I don't really think we care for the turret or the toolbox here, and bag, unfortunately, going into wave 20 is not worth picking up. I'm going to roll once for only 27. Ooh, another particle accelerator. That'll definitely pick up, and we'll take the snake as well so we can get more burning damage, and then we'll go to wave 19. And I think that's an important principle, what I was talking about earlier, that something that's a mistake in one scenario is not necessarily a mistake in every scenario. You have to... everything's contextual. People, I think, can get really stuck in a very absolutist mindset when it comes to evaluating decision-making or evaluating items or anything like that, where you think this is a bad item rather than this item is bad in these situations and good in these situations. Or this is a bad decision rather than etc. And what's important is to make sure that you are making the right decision for the context that you're in, given the information that you have. Often you can evaluate decisions that you made previously because they worked out badly as having been bad decisions. That's not always necessarily the case. Sometimes it was the right decision given the information that you had. Or you can get stuck in a mindset of thinking that something is always the wrong thing to do, even though it's only the wrong thing to do in, let's say, a lot of common scenarios, but in uncommon scenarios may be correct. I'm actually going to take 3 dodge here, because I am very close to dodge cap, and that will make it harder for me to die randomly. And then we're going to sell out of this level 1 Icicle to buy the particle accelerator. Maybe I actually should have just gone for the level 4 particle accelerator, because I haven't seen it, and I kind of wanted to see what it would do. So maybe that was better. I'm actually going to take the ritual here for the damage and lifesteal rather than the snake. I think that will matter more. We're going to roll. Level 2 Icicle would have been nice, but of course we are going into the wave 20 fight, so it doesn't matter. Well, let's laser the heck out of these bosses. Trying to focus down the low health one, but it ran away, so I decided to just try not to die. And you can see there that we almost got popped. The 2 armor that I bought actually saved me from dying in one shot, I think. Maybe we'd have lived, but it would have been very close. And of course, the burst healing that we got. So even though we were very strong at that point, because I had capped my HP, that was still a losable run. And so the decision I made to go for the defensive items actually kept us alive. Looking at our items, we ended up with almost no economy. Look at how little early economy we got. We got the coupon, which was pretty good. Tentacles healed us a lot. The scared sausages did decent damage, and the improved tools with the pocket factory helped a bunch. The strange book was actually pretty nice. Ice Cube did a bunch of additional damage to the elites. Bag was good, even though we got it quite late. And Particle Accelerator did 74, but the level 4 Icicles, at least when DPSing down bosses, are definitely better. Maybe, yeah, the Accelerator was better than the level 1 Icicle would have been, but not by a lot. So actually, I probably should have combined to a level 4 Accelerator, kept the level 1 Icicle. That would have been more damage overall. We'd have killed the bosses faster. Overall, I think this is a really fun way to play the character. I do think you have to be quite careful with what you buy, because Icicle takes a while to come online. You have to level it up a lot. And Some of the sort of luxury items that elemental builds can buy are probably not really affordable for the hunter with its poor economy. So you may want to skip some of the stuff that, like Pocket Factory we bought here, and it was fine but not amazing. You might want to skip some of that if you're struggling to make this strategy work, and just focus on attack speed, crit chance, and elemental damage to maximize your icicle damage. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed this video. This was a blast to play with the new weapons, and glad I got to try out the awesome particle accelerator, the laser cannon. That was super fun, a literal blast. And of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like, helps me out with the algorithm. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy games. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.